Alright, so we should be live. This should be going check. Yeah. Alright, so this is week 5 of season 11 MLTP. I think this is like the first MLTP game I've actually like commentated this season. So while we're waiting, it doesn't look. Yeah, Holy Roller's just getting in the group. Just take a look, I guess, at some of the stats while we wait. From last week. So, Boostin Dynamo kept the same lineup as last time with all 40 minutes. They had Stan and Trip E on defense, and Door and Intercess on offense. Oh yeah, also just let me know how my mic audio sounds on the stream. So yeah, I had that lineup. Pretty good stats from both Door and Trippy. Really from everyone actually. Intercess had a good week as well with the 941 OGASP. And if we take a look at the Holy Rollers lineup, they've had a pretty surprising lineup this season so far, with Ty being paired up with Megatron on offense, and J-Bebe and Carl with a K doing the defending, and not exactly standout stats from from really anyone on Holy Rollers, but they've had pretty good success so far. I know that they're well, we can even check. I know they're not doing too bad in the standings. Oh, could be worse. Tie with Degrees of Freedom right now anyways. So, should be a good game nonetheless. Let's see if they're ready to go. Looks like they are. Alright, so we have launched. We'll see if the jersey script works. But Boostin Dynamo will be in red. Looks like it did. And it looks like we'll go back to group. Not really sure why. Looks like I think Ty didn't get in the game. I didn't even see anyone say back to group, so. Alright, so it looks like Ty is back in the group. Hopefully the jerseys still work. Good. Alright, so we will have Holy Rollers on blue with Boostin playing on the red team. The maps this week I think are Jardum and... fuck, I don't even remember the other one. Megatron's looking to be out. Stan took a slow boost, so Megatron's not going to be able to edge it in. Trippy with a nice save. Shows you how prepared Degrees of Freedom was. I don't remember the other map. Oh, it's the community one, Scorpio, yeah. Alright, so Door's gonna come in. Looking to come in, I should say. He's definitely a slippery offender. And you see him already playing anti. It's gonna be a key strat to see if teams play around with as the match goes on. As Stan looks to be reset here for Boostin Dynamo, Door's going to be out past 3. But J-Bay catches up. Alright, so both teams are going to be reset. Inner's going to be out, but Carl's able to catch up with him. Door's going to be coming in, and he'll be returned as well. A bit of a slow start on this map, but Boostin's starting to get the momentum with a regrab train, and Inner makes a nice workaround using the wall to his advantage to get the first cap of the game. And it looks like he'll swoop around and keep the regrab train going for his team. Ty's going to be able to get out on the other end though. Inner gets a lucky boost spawn, and he will get the second cap. Tag pro for each team spawn up, and J-Bay is gonna look to come in. I didn't really see how that happened, but suddenly everyone on Boostin Dynamo is dead. Stan's just gonna sit on the flag with his tag pro, but Ty's gonna be able to get out, and Megatron might be able to clear out base a bit with tag pro, but he goes the other way with it, and it runs out immediately. So now Holy Rollers trying to keep their momentum up with this regrab train. And Boostin Dynamo just keeps 4 on... oh. I don't know why I got confused there and thought they were all on defense. They did all just pack it in on OD though. And didn't really even bother to send out any chasers at all. But now Stan has the flag. So both teams just working their way around. Power-ups should break this hold train. His Door's gonna pick up a tag pro. See, he does play anti with it. Megatron's gonna need to stay alive there, but Door's tag pro is killed. And Stan doing a nice job of holding right now. Holy Rollers haven't had a great contain so far. Megatron making some moves. He's gonna be tagged though, and looks like Boostin will try and get this reset. Stan's not gonna be passed though, and now Door's gonna try and get ahead. This map can get pretty hectic as Ty brings in the second cap for Holy Rollers. And this is... oh! Carl just missed it. Should have had the third cap. And Megatron's gonna get killed now, and Door's gonna work his way past Ty to get the third cap. Yeah, I was just gonna say, it can get pretty hectic back and forth, and that's what just happened. But 2 jukes for Boostin Dynamo should help them out here. Stan and Door have the blocks, and Trippy makes a nice micro juke with that juke juice to bring it in for Boostin Dynamo. Inner's now going to be passed, and he'll try to work past the blocks. Can't quite use the corner though. Door makes a nice use of the bomb, and Boostin have maintained a pretty decent hold train in the last couple minutes. Now let's see if Carl and J-Bay can get his return, which they do, with power-ups just about 10 seconds out. Inner's going to make a nice grab with the out of position Holy Roller's defense, but he will be returned. Door's going to be passed 2 though. Stan and Trippy don't even need to have blocks. Door's just going to boost it in. And two juke juices again will be the power-ups. Boostin coming out to a 5-2 lead so far in this game. Inner makes a nice use of the juke juice on the juke juice. Is able to get out. And really so far, I mean, they've just had a longer hold train, and that's just led to more opportunities. It's as simple as that. J-Bay was trying to come in, use his former offensive skills, but not able to bring the cap in. They're just going to try and kiss to help his defense get the reset, but J-Bay is going to be out regardless. Now Ty is going to try and get past a couple, but a kiss should reset things as Holy Rollers sweep the power-ups, and we'll try to gain some momentum from that, but there's trying to work his way in, doesn't get in. You can tell how long it's been since I've done this commentating thing. Alright, so both teams reset for the moment, but J-Bay is able to get out with some help from the handoff. He's going to try that boost to the bottom corner that is so common in this map. It's a very efficient way of capping if the offensive defense is out of position. Stan's gonna make a nice aggressive move to stay ahead of Megatron, but he will be out regardless. Now Door's gonna use the bomb to get out. And in doing so, taking away Megatron's momentum, bringing the flag into base. Ty with a nice aggressive regrab there. I like that move. And now this is looking good for Holy Rollers. Intercepts makes a nice grab, but he's going to have to stay alive. And he does so for long enough. J-Bay can't quite get the snipe. And Holy Roller is getting aggressive now, looking for this return. As Ty again steps up on regrab. And I like that move on this map too, just because it's such a small map that, you know, I think like the lanes to cap, like in between the flag and regrab are so small that it's a relatively safe choice for regrab to step up and not leave the flag tile exposed if the return does come. I should say, like, if their own flag carrier does get returned. J-Bay is going to be working his way in. Inter makes a risky grab, but he's able to get out. The Holy Rollers defense hasn't exactly been in position to stop those kinds of grabs, but he makes a nice move. Intercept's doing some nice carrying here, but he will be returned. Holy Rollers have had some opportunities, but just not at the right times when Boostin has been able to grab the flag out, and certainly not as many. Carl though is going to be out past a couple, and he's not going to be able to get past Trippy, who catches up. And now Trippy is going to turn the momentum the other way. Be out past a couple, but he'll be quickly returned. Now Door is able to get the reset, but Boostin have not grabbed the flag out yet. Here's going to create his own handoff, and if he can get the blocks, which he does, that'll be a 6-2 lead for Boostin. Yeah, why did I make Dino a mod? I don't remember doing that. Inner's somehow gonna survive, and he'll still be holding the flag. He's just bouncing back and forth on the walls. Somehow Holy Rollers were not able to get the return there. Megatron's going to be able to slip past. Dora's going to smartly just wait on that boost. Oh, and Dora makes a really nice cap there. Great communication from Boostin to let Dora know when the return would be coming. I like his flag carrying a lot too. It's definitely really tricky to tag, and is pretty good at getting the flag out as well. That'll be a 7-2 lead for Boostin Dynamo to start this game. And while perhaps not as dominant as their half against the struggling Degrees of Freedom team, it's nonetheless proving their efficiency on Jardum. So we have launched with half 2. Oh boy. Alright, so Megatron's going to be out with the flag. Almost makes a really nice use of those blocks, but he's not quite able to make the cap. J-Bay makes a nice escape on the other end to prevent the cap. Now he's going to be working his way in, but he's going to be cleaned up by Boostin OD. Power-ups coming up now. Megatron kind of eyeing it, but 2 power-ups are going to go to Boostin Dynamo. Door gonna pick up the return on Megatron, and Intercess is gonna bring out the cap with help from the power-ups of Boostin Dynamo. Megatron able to edge out Stan. He's gonna have the boost, but he couldn't quite take it off the angle like I presume he wanted to. Holy Rollers do have some pretty decent blocks in base, but Megatron not able to force the issue. J-Bay now keeping the regrab train alive for Holy Rollers, though. They've done a pretty nice job keeping the flag on base. J-Bay is not quite able to bring that in effectively enough. And Inner makes a really nice cap. He pretty much did the same exact thing as J-Bay, but it worked. Just able to get the timing right. Carl's going to spike himself and give J-Bay the handoff. And it looks like this is good for Holy Rollers if they can get the return. This is an instance where I'd definitely have Megatron step up on regrab. At least while they had the power-ups. And I think it was Door had the flag, was coming into base. There's like no question that J-Bay was going to stay safe, so. So now both teams just trying to get out. Shouldn't be too long on this map. And Door's going to use the handoff, and he's coming in hot, but Holy Rollers are able to clean him up. You see this back and forth starting to happen pretty often on this map. At least every time they get the return, it seems like both teams have been able to immediately get out following the return. Inners, though, is going to be past 3. Megatron's going to have to make a play, and Intercess uses the block effectively to bring in the 3rd cap of this half. Not really much I can do about that color, unfortunately, besides change the background, which I should probably do. But so Ty is going to just be able to get out, but not before Trippy catches up to him. Intercest is able to come into base. They'll just do a little bit of holding. Ty played anti there, which I think is something that Holy Rollers lacked a bit last half, and a bit of awkwardness there. As Holy Rollers were trying to catch into base, they didn't really look to be on the same page as to where Carl should have come in. And Carl will kind of hesitate in playing anti. But I think especially last game, Holy Rollers definitely could have benefited from that and just getting reset, trying to keep the flag in base just long enough at least to be able to have their FC come in, because they did have chances where they were coming in with flag, but it was always when Boost and Dynamo were able to get a grab out or had the flag out already. Ty looks to be out here. Had a couple nice moves, but they're eventually able to pick him up. Intercess is loose, not passing anyone though. And J-Bay and Carl are able to keep up with him. Door is able to pick up a tag pro though, and that's going to be 2 tag pros for Boost and Dynamo. If you take a look at the pups, I don't have this thing on. But, yeah, I'm not going to look at that. It feels anyways like Boost and Dynamo are sweeping, or I should say leading in pups. think that's another instance where Ty could have stepped up a bit more and just gotten the easy contain. I mean, they did have him contained, and so there was really no reason to back off. Trippy is not going to be able to get the cap in. A bit of a lucky break there for Holy Rollers. And Megatron not able to get the cap in either. He had the lane wide open, but the boost knocked him back. I'm not sure if he like bounced off the wall there or what, but I should say I'm not sure if his momentum was killed just because of him bouncing off the wall. But if he could have just bounced off the wall, it would have been a cap. Rolled it off the wall, I should say. Door looking to come in now, and Trippy with his tag pro. Ty's going to be able to save it though. And keep this a 9-2 game, I believe. No, 10-2. Megatron makes a nice corner juke, but Door has the team tiles. And now they are just grabbing by themselves. I'm not sure how bad the tilt is, but obviously solo grabbing by themselves into base is never a good idea. Megatron with a nice move to get out. And good eyes to see Trippy taking that boost. Stan's going to pick up a tag pro regardless though, as is Door. Now Megatron really has no choice but to stay safe. Door had the opportunity. Stan was doing a nice job cleaning it up, but Door is eventually going to get returned. J-Bay working his way into base, and that's a nice read of the blocks. Good communication on Holy Roller's part there, I presume. Intercess almost had a lane. And so now Megatron's going to be out. Can't quite work quick enough, but J-Bay has the benefit of at least one return in his base. 3 Boostin Dynamo members are there though. And J-Bay leaves a rolling and is going to bomb right into his chaser. Now Stan changing things the other way. Tries to juke around the defense, but not going to happen. Door, meanwhile, able to bring it in, and that's a really nice play by Boostin Dynamo there. Again, we see Door with some really nice flag carrying and some really good blocks set up by Boostin Dynamo. And that was textbook. And he's just going to be able to lock that one in, as I think that was Megatron just chilling on the bomb. So that will be, I think, a 12-3 score, right? Yeah. 12-3 for Boostin Dynamo. And they've played really handily on this map. It looks like their practice has paid off. It's interesting because they haven't really done anything really like that noteworthy or quirky on this map, like you would think is necessary on such a quirky map. But Door is able to pick up the return by himself, and looks like that will seal the deal. So a 5-1 second half for Boostin Dynamo leads to a 12-3 victory. So, Boostin Dynamo takes game 1. So we set up for Scorpio here. And like I was saying, it was not really any, like, you know, like cerebral. Can't believe I just used that word. It wasn't any, like, you know, really out there planning. It was just pretty solid play from Boostin Dynamo. You know, they kept the flag out of base really the whole game. I didn't take a look at the hold stat, but you know, at least by feel, they definitely kept the regrab train going, not only for longer than Holy Rollers, but when it mattered more too. And obviously that never bodes well for a team looking to cap. Brick has a brick. Oh fuck. I forgot Megatron played on Ordered in Ducks. I played offense with him, yeah, that's right too. Looking at the TWP master on offense. Just realized I was fucking muted the whole time. Alright, so ready to go with half 2 of Scorpio. As Intercess is going to get out quickly and make a quick cap for Boostin Dynamo. So there'll be a quick 1-0 lead for Boostin Dynamo in this half, and 6-3 total. As J-Bay and Carl with a K trying their own boost blocks this half. Couldn't quite do it there. As they try to get the reset here, Door with a nice grab, but Ty's going to clean him up. And he only had to block the portal there, but Megatron is not able to get out quite then, but he does have the boost now. Doesn't quite have the angle on Intercess though to get the cap. Carl's a bit out of position there, but they're still within reach of the cap. Or at least they were. Stan with a nice bomb on the other end to stay alive. And making some nice moves on the Holy Rollers defense, but will get cleaned up. Megatron on the other side still holding. Making nice moves. And a kiss here wouldn't have been bad, as Carl and J-Bay were on their way back. Could have potentially gotten the reset, but now Stan and Door will be on defense as the second round of power-ups come up. Or first, I don't know. So 2 rollings and a juke for Megatron. Yes, he's just gonna have to try and hold here actually. Tie with a nice anti to get the reset for Holy Rollers. Carl with a K trying to get past. Not able to do so though. As Trippy makes a nice bomb grab. He'll get boosted back by a Stan though. As Megatron works his way onto his own half of the map. So now Intercess is going to pick up Attack Pro as his Door. Tie with the rolling though, he's going to get defused though. That might have been the ticket. He's going to be past 2 though with a nice move. J-Bay looks to have the block, but Stan Intercessor able to catch up. Now Trippy's going to be past at least 2. There's Ty boost ahead. And it looks like Boostin will be able to get the reset, but Stan is going to be returned. It's a bit of a slower half here so far. J-Bay is going to be past 3 though. Door is able to use the bomb and the nice move off the wall to stay alive and prevent the Holy Rollers equalizer. For the half, I should say. Now, Kiss in the middle is probably going to benefit Boostin Dynamo, as Trippy might be able to pick up the power up. He's gonna just try for the cap. I think I don't know if Boostin Dynamo like didn't communicate or what, but they didn't have the blocks in base really yet. Trippy's opportunity it was there, but quickly faded away, and so he might have been better off just picking up the power up. I think Stan picked it up anyway, I'm not really sure, but Megatron with a nice use of the team tiles to get the reset for Holy Rollers. And Intercess just rushes the gate a bit. Carl is going to spike himself somehow with the bomb, but they will remain reset. As Ty is trying to get out, I should say. The boost to work with, but Trippy and Stan do a nice job of containing him in. And Intercess with a nice use of the Juke Juice. He just has to avoid Megatron, which he does, and this should be a cap, as it has Boostin Dynamo raise their lead to 2-0 in the half. And really, I mean, it's been a slow game for both teams, but I think like Holy Rollers just really haven't been able to create any actual opportunities for themselves. Or I should say, at least like very promising opportunities. Doors looking to come in. Holy Rollers do pick up 2 of the 3 power-ups though, so this should help them out at least a little bit. Juke Juice on defense for Boostin Dynamo is going to make it a bit difficult though. And Ty is finally able to get past 3. This is looking like a good opportunity. Dora is not quite able to get the bomb grab like he wanted. I can't say whether it was a good play or not, but now Intercess is looking to get the answer right back, and Trippy makes a nice block on the portal, and Intercess will get the answer, and the lead remains at 2 for Boostin Dynamo. Last power-ups coming up. Holy Rollers are starting to pick up a bit more, but rollings will probably each be diffused. Stan is able to use his to grab and pass 3 though. Intercess can't quite get the solo return. Stan will get returned, and Megatron is going to be past 3 now. Dor was able to position himself correctly though. And Stan with a anti-re gets the reset for Boostin Dynamo. So it gets some of the last power-ups coming up as oh, Intercess almost nubs that Carl with K. That would have been honestly a bit of a dampener if that had happened. Because to Holy Rollers' credit, they've been playing a good final half. Being down, what, 8-3, I believe, or down 4 caps. You know, they have locked things down a little bit better, and Dora with a really nice use of the blocks there. But they haven't let it run away from them, and you know, kept things even competitively, if not score-wise. As Dora starting to widen things up a bit as I talk about not letting things run away. But yeah, I forget where I was going with that. Megatron's gonna have a rolling mill and look to at least help the cap differential for Holy Rollers a bit, as they look to have an opportunity here. But Dora is going to run away with that opportunity. Holy Rollers with a nice reset there. Stan does have the angle. And Megatron will avoid the kiss. So a 5-1 half for Boostin Dynamo. Cup seem relatively even. I think Boostin Dynamo had a slight edge. So Boostin Dynamo will run away with this one. 10-4 being the final score of game 2. Let me try and get this a little quicker. So 5-1 game, sorry, 12-3 game 1, and 10-1 game 2. So Boostin Dynamo moved to 6-3 and 1, as Holy Rollers fall to 3-7. Boostin Dynamo proving to be a bit better of a force than they were predicted to in the East. I think they were generally picked like middle to low on most rankings, so it's shouldn't really be a surprise anyways. I mean, you know, they have obviously a lot of very talented players and a proven player in Stan, and they've all just like stepped up pretty great deal. Intercess has always been a really talented flag carrier, and Door, I don't remember if I played him in minors, but I remember even playing him overseas with him playing on like the East Coast servers. He was good even on like pretty high ping, so yeah, Boostin Dynamo proving to be a team to beat in the East. So that'll do it for this matchup of MLTP. I'll come back in about a half hour with tiers.